be back in sunny Florida. Chilling by the pool.
You know what, bro? Seriously?
Palm trees in the background. My brother-in-law sipping on some cold ones. You know, just how we do. We just grilled up some nice dinner, burgers, dogs. Nice little Blackstone grill we picked up down here. It's quite nice. Not trying to rub it in, Dave. I promise. I promise.
Seriously, I wish Aaron Donald was there to just sack you into the pool, you asshole.
He's retiring on a fat bed of cash is what that man's doing.
Yeah, I think he's got his own pool to jump into, and I don't think he is worried about hitting anybody the rest of his life.
Absolutely not. Well, welcome, gentlemen, back to Die on This Hill. Episode number 17 now. We're killing this with my host David Hastings, Joey D. And even though we're in some different locations today, we're still out here doing this, loving this, and man, who is absolutely loving life. We just touched on is Aaron Donald, retirement, gonna retire. Obviously a Hall of Famer. Obviously a all-time great at his position, and Super Bowl champion. He's done what he needed to do in the league. He's retiring with a nice, in a good way. Not mistaken, he played his whole career there too with the Rams.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, come on, that's a pretty sweet deal. So he's gonna be up in the rafters. He's done enough for that organization to where he could walk away with his head held high. He can now get a nice cushy job in a booth if he wants somewhere. He can pretty much do anything the man wants to do, and I'm sure he'll do a phenomenal job doing it. But he did retire this past week, and I want to get your guys' thoughts.
What was it? 9 years he played? 10 years.
10,
and out of the 10 years, 9 of them he was an All-Pro, I believe.
8.
So 8 out of 10. So 80% of his career he was an All-Pro. He's probably a Pro Bowler all 10. I mean,
an absolute monster, bro.
A few times he won Defensive Player of the Year too. I think more than once.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is without a doubt one of the greatest to ever play the game, just defensively, right? Like, he's one of those few guys. I mean, when they first drafted him, he was playing, D tackle, and then, they moved to a 3-4, and he's playing defensive end, nose tackle. Sometimes you even saw him line up at the edge, standing up, like, just a full freak of nature, and a guy that, had an impact on the game where I think we'll all agree that when he does go into the Hall of Fame, we'll consider him a true Hall of Famer and not a Hall of the Very Good.
No, he's a Hall of Famer. He was dominant at his position for a few years. He wasn't just a one and done. He wasn't just a flash in the pan. He was somebody who anchored that defense and somebody people had to actually game plan for. And yeah, he was special, and I mean, pretty irreplaceable for the Rams. I don't care if he's 10 years in the league or not. He still isn't old, and he still has a lot of good years left if he wanted to play. So, I mean, this is more him just, I think, trying to get out on a high note, trying to get out while his body's still healthy enough where he's not too beat up yet. And I can't blame him.
I mean, dude's younger than any of us. So, I mean, I hope he's not old.
Man, imagine just being doubled and triple teamed every game. It's probably taxing on his body. He probably still feels good, and he's done everything you could possibly want to do.
Well, they've talked about him possibly, like, there's been rumors of him retiring for the last 2 years.
Yeah, correct.
So, I mean, once you got that ring, the rumors started to pop up, and they got stronger last off season, and he came back, played this season, and decided a decade of his life in the NFL, and a couple $100 million richer, it was enough. So I'm happy for him, that's for sure, and the Rams are definitely going to miss him.
As tweeted out by Robert Griffin III, some stats real quick on Aaron Donald, just to clean up what we were talking about. 10-time Pro Bowler, 8-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and Super Bowl champion. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive stats for a guy who played what we just, 10 years, 10 years, 10-time Pro Bowler, or it's pretty crazy and pretty special.
And can I just say something? Kyler Murray also tweeted out, "Thank God." Because I'm sure all the quarterbacks out there are praising Lord right now, whoever they follow, that this man has retired, because he wreaked havoc. What do you have? 111 sacks, I think, in 154 games. Like, that's ridiculous for a defensive tackle. Yeah. One of the all-time greatest players ever. Aaron Donald, good for you, man. Glad you're getting out healthy, and best of luck to you with whatever you do.
Well, speaking of that and where he would rank all time, I just saw a list by somebody, top 5, and it kind of made me want to vomit a little bit inside. And it's from Brandon Marshall. And Brandon Marshall put out his top 5 defenders of all time, and he has Aaron Donald number 1, Ray Lewis number 2, egregiously Lawrence Taylor number 3, Reggie White number 4, and Troy Polamalu number 5.
He never played with Reggie and LT, so that's why I kind of think he might have put those players above him. You're going to argue LT all day to be the number 1 defensive player ever.
I think Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White are probably the number 1 and 2 defensive players ever. I mean, Reggie White was just out of this world, and Lawrence Taylor was
he changed the position.
Yeah, he changed the rule.
Yeah.
I mean, when the NFL is like, oh, we got to change this rule so guys like him can't do this, and then you realize there's no other guys like him, that kind of points out where you stand in the Mount Rushmore of defensive players. So, yeah, you're not going to get an argument out of me on that one at all. I would put LT, Reggie White. I mean, dude, there's so many other guys. Mean Joe Green. You got Ray Lewis, Troy Polamalu. I won't argue. He was one of the best I've ever seen. Dick Butkus. I mean, Urlacher had a stretch of 6-7 years where he just was arguably the best linebacker in the league.
Junior Seau.
I mean, yeah, you can name. I can name. There's a lot of guys, and even some of the old school guys we can't even think of off the top of our head would still be great players today. But yeah, no arguments here, Eric.
Sounds good. Well, going from there to I mean, he's enjoying retirement, but I want to know, how much do you guys think Justin Fields is going to enjoy his new location this season? Because he did get traded within the last week, and to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised on where he got traded to. And I want to know if you guys are just as surprised as I am, and for what he got traded for.
I'm more or less surprised for what they traded for. For Pittsburgh to get to just trade next year's 6th-round pick for him is a steal. I think it's also in the trade, if he plays 51% of the snaps, then it becomes a 4th-round pick. But I think Russell Wilson's just going to beat him out. I believe they're going to have a competition because Mike Tomlin's all about competition, and I really think it's a good landing spot for him. He's going to learn under Russell Wilson. He's got a good coach with Tomlin. I think Pittsburgh's pretty good organization. So I really hope that he finds a home there. Still young, he's talented, and see what happens.
Eric, are you getting feedback?
No, I'm not, but you are probably, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Are you still getting it now?
I don't know. it's kind of faded it back.
Okay, hang on one second. What about now? Sorry, guys. It's a little bit of trial and error here as I'm on location, like I said, in beautiful sunny Florida, chilling in the screened-in porch here with the pool. You know, I'm just...
Stop throwing it in our face. Sunny Florida.
But he has in the pool.
Well, that's why I'm just making sure you guys still getting that feedback. I was trying to talk to see if the feedback...
Yeah, we still are.
Still are. Okay. All right.
I mean, we've got some things we can mess with here if you want me to try. I got depth.
No. You're good. I was trying something else to... I was trying to give my brother-in-law here a listen in, but it wasn't working quite right. So we're gonna turn that back down. But anyway, we're back.
All good.
All good, my
All
friends.
right, well.
So we're back. I'm hoping you're not getting the feedback now.
All in all, I hope Justin Fields finds a home in Pittsburgh. Dave, what do you think about Justin Fields in Pittsburgh?
Very good recovery there, Joey. No, Eric, we're not getting feedback. You're good, my man. But honestly, I am very surprised that they were able to get it. That Chicago was willing to trade him for a sixth. But from what I read, apparently a lot of internal conversations happened with Justin Fields at the Chicago facilities where they just wanted to do the best they could for him because they completely were bought in on Caleb Williams. So instead of having Fields and Williams there and having all the drama, they wanted to send him somewhere that was a good organization. And apparently out of the people that called and asked, Pittsburgh was where he wanted to go.
That's good by Ryan Poles. That's good by him.
Chicago actually worked with him to try and help and give him the situation he wanted to be in. And he actually apparently was out of the options that were available, because obviously not all 31 other teams called. Out of the options that were available, he chose Pittsburgh. And that's why they made the deal the way they made it, with the conditional chance to get it to be a fourth-round pick. And then on top of that, I think Fields, like Joey said, is going to be part of a competition, so he has an opportunity to possibly win the starting job. I do think Wilson will beat him out as well. But I can't say it better than the way Joey said it, right? Like, he's going to get to learn under Wilson. He's going to have a head coach like Mike Tomlin that's going to push him to be great. And they run a good style offense for the type of quarterback that he is. So I just would be a little pissed if I was him either way, to think that, all of a sudden now we have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Cole Kmet to throw the ball to. And the offensive line was getting a little bit better as the year went on, and a three-headed, tandem in the backfield, the running back. And, good luck to you. Like, I would be a little pissed about that if I'm him, but that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I look at it completely different than you guys. And if this is where Justin Fields wanted to be, then yeah, obviously the Bears working with him, it doesn't matter to them. They just wanted him out of there. So I'm sure they were like, sure, you want to go to the Steelers? We'll try to see if we can make it work. And they made it work. But it just shows me that he's not the guy. He's far, far from the guy. Because you pick a spot where you know that it's already a train wreck waiting to happen with Russell Wilson getting there. So you're already picking a place that you know is going to be like, it's already going to be a circus. And you're only going to make it worse. It's not going to get better. And you're going to think you're out for this quarterback competition, but we all know that it's going to go to Russell Wilson anyway. And he's just being a backup there. He's wasting a year of his... It just... For a guy who should be trying to earn his next contract, this isn't the move or the place to go to, in my opinion. So I look at it as, if this is where he picked to go, then I question his thoughts. And I question his ability to think. I question whether or not he's got the ability to make the correct decisions on the field if he can't make the correct decisions in life. And to me, this isn't the correct decision. He's a guy who needs to be fighting for that next contract so he doesn't end up in backup quarterback status. He's not going to win the job in Pittsburgh. And all they got for him was a 6th round pick. It's embarrassing on both sides because the Bears, they're becoming like the Browns. They're becoming like the rest of these teams that just are stuck in mediocrity forever. They're stuck in never getting out of the rut of they can't draft the right quarterback. They don't make the right decisions in the front office. And I'm sorry, but the Bears are becoming the Browns of Jace, especially when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. So I just don't trust anything the Bears do. I sure as hell don't trust anything Justin Fields is doing. And yeah, if both sides are happy, good for them. But this to me is just a weird one that I don't really understand, and I don't see how in the long run it benefits Fields' career whatsoever.
Well, if you think about it, he's still on a rookie contract. This is going to be his 3rd season. Which means this will be his 4th season, which means they can do his 5th. The Steelers can take his 5th-year option, which means they only ride out Wilson for this year, develop Fields under him, and then he has a chance to earn his next contract on his 5th-year option, which still is going to be in the high teens, low 20s, in the millions of dollars. So he's going to an organization that he believed gave him his best chance to still have a career. I mean, dude, they went 9-8 with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and who else played quarterback? They had like
Mitchell
Trubisky. Like they went 9-8.
I'm sadly gonna take that quarterback room over Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I'm sadly gonna take Trubisky, Rudolph, and small hands Pickett over Fields and Wilson, because one, I think Wilson is just a joke trying to run out the clock at this point, just trying to make it to the end with as much money in the bank as he can. And I think Fields is immature and doesn't make very good decisions. So I don't know. I don't see how this works out in that Steeler locker room. I have all the where it all comes off the tracks for me, though, is because I still have faith in Tomlin, and I still have faith that the team could be a good team and be a 9-8 team, be a 10-7 team. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's because Russell Wilson played well or because Justin Fields played well. I think it's just because Tomlin can coach the defense up. He knows to run the ball enough. Like if they do things I just don't know how much of it's going to be because of the quarterback play if they are successful. I still think the quarterback play is going to be meh. Like it's going to be exactly what Russell Wilson gave you in Denver. I'll give you low 20s in touchdowns with maybe 10 or less picks. It'll look okay, but it's not going to really get you anywhere. And they're not going to win in the playoffs. So, I mean, really, you're just spinning your wheels for another year.
Eric, let me ask you, and Dave, let me ask you as well. All right, Carolina last year traded up to get Bryce Young, correct? Did any of us expect them to have the number 1 pick again?
Yeah, because you look at the rest of the team around Carolina. Yeah, they were going to be a bad team this year.
I don't think anybody thought they were going to be number 1 pick bad. So if the Bears were gifted the golden egg this year, right? Once again, they weren't going to turn down an opportunity to trade a quarterback. I really think Justin Fields is getting screwed in this whole situation of him not being a starting quarterback because he got traded for a 6th round pick. I don't know if the Bears, if they didn't have the number 1 pick, I don't know if they would be trading up to try and get the number 1 pick, because I think they would still be very well be good with Justin Fields as their quarterback. They could use those 2 number 1 picks on other things. So I think Pittsburgh got a steal with the 6th round pick, and I think they have a talented player that they're going to develop into a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback.
See, this is where I disagree. I think he's a 1 or 2 and done. I don't think he's long-term in Pittsburgh. I think this is the beginning of the end for Justin Fields. For the Bears, I don't understand it on 2 levels. One, because you just recently went after a quarterback in Justin Fields. You've tried to do this. Why not try to develop the guy you've already invested the time and draft pick in that you still have under control? Number two,
Because like I told
number
you,
two,
like I
wait,
said the
real
other
quick.
day,
But number two, then you can use that first pick instead of drafting another quarterback, which you're planning on doing, because you know Caleb Williams right now is being projected number 1 overall. Instead of drafting Caleb Williams, you could draft Marvin Harrison Jr., the best overall player in the draft. Now you have Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. You have more weapons than anybody can cover. Why not make that work with Justin Fields? And to me, it shows you how bad the Bears front office is, and the fact that Fields wanted out so bad, and where he wanted to go to, I think is also shows you poor decision making. So to me, it's a lose-lose on both fronts for these teams, because one, I think the Bears set themselves back. Yeah, you trade for Keenan Allen, you're going to draft Caleb Williams, but is Caleb Williams going to be any better coming in year 1 than Justin Fields would have been for you in year 3? Probably not. And you're giving Justin Fields one of the best offensive talents to come out of the draft in a while. He's that good. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a player in the NFL that you're gonna hear a lot of. He's a very, very good wide receiver. By far the best player coming out in the draft, in my opinion. You have the chance to get the number 1 overall player. And instead, they're going to draft a quarterback who, again, to me, drafting Caleb Williams, you're just retreading the tires. You're just redoing what you've already done with Justin Fields and anybody else. He's no more talented than Justin Fields is. He's not some special somebody who's going to come in and light up the league. I don't believe in this quarterback class whatsoever. And you guys know me. I watch a lot of college football. I don't believe in these guys. These guys, to me, are not franchise guys. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a franchise guy. To me, the Bears are making way too many mistakes, and it starts at a front office level.
I mean, the one thing I will say is this. We're going to agree to disagree on Fields' capabilities, but with that, like, I do think that, like, if I'm the Bears GM, that's the route I would have went. Like, we've already spent a couple years with Justin. We have we know where we need to improve them. Like, we believe in our coaching staff. We believe in our quarterbacks. Like, we believe in what we have. Let's get him weapons, shore up the offensive line with that second first-round pick, and let's fucking rock. I don't disagree with that at all. And it is a sad thing to see, you know, when it comes down to a reflection on what Chicago thinks of Fields. But I also think at the same time, they just maybe are obsessed and in love with Caleb Williams. And no matter what quarterback they had, unless it was C.J. Stroud or I'm trying to think like of the younger, like Trevor Lawrence, like some of the guys that are on rookie deals. Like, outside of those guys, yeah, I mean, cool. But I mean, I think they're obsessed with Caleb Williams in a way that they just did whatever they had to do to make sure that they didn't have the drama of having Fields and him on the team at the same time. But I would have gone the way you're saying to go. That I completely agree with.
Well, I mean, you guys make strong points, and I appreciate you dying on that hill, because that's what we're here to do. That is what we are here to do. I'm trying to find us an easy transition to the next person to get off of Fields here. But, yeah, what are the signings? What else happened in this week that caught your guys' eye?
Jets made 2 nice moves, signing Tyron Smith and Mike Williams. The question is health for both players. But 1-year deal for each one. Most, probably like a third of the money's in incentives for each of them. And I mean, if the Jets do the practice schedule that the Cowboys have with Tyron Smith, I mean, I got confidence they'll give him, he's not going to give him 17 games, but if he can give him, 13 to 15.
He can give us what he did last year. I'll take 13 games.
That'll be a nice addition to it. And the Jets are just stacking guys on the O-line. I think they're going more depth than they are right now, knowing who's going to start where and be where.
Let's go. Bring on Bakhtiari. He's next.
No, Mike.
Well, actually, who's next is Mike Williams. Mike Williams just signed a 1-year deal with the Jets.
It gives him a huge presence. Somebody who leads the NFL since he's been in it, I believe, in yards per catch. He averages like almost 16 yards per catch,
15.
which is something they haven't had.
Yeah, and he's an upgrade over Lazard, who they let go.
Huge upgrade over Lazard. Huge upgrade over Hardman. But my only concern, like Tyron Smith, like his health. These guys,
Aaron Rodgers,
and it's health, man. This guy is super talented when he's on the field, but he had what did he do? Break his neck like his second year in the league, and then he just tore his ACL last year. So I like that it's a 1-year deal. It's no risk really because it's 1 year. So he's on a prove-it deal. He's got a big target now. We got a big target for Aaron Rodgers. So I wonder if they go possibly Brock Powers with the 10 now with the draft. It kind of just opens everything up for them.
That Brock Powers is a special tight end, so I could see looking at that. And yeah, I mean, look, Mike Williams on the field, really good player. Mike Williams sadly just doesn't spend a lot of his career on the field, so it's definitely health related for both signings. But I definitely think both signings are nice signings by the Jets.
You guys think there's any chance that Buffalo and Stephon Diggs part ways prior to the draft?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was like a draft day trade.
Same.
I just don't think that really, like, it's one of those things, right? Like where it's like at some point something's going to happen because we're now 2 full years of there being some kind of drama between Diggs and the organization, or Diggs and Allen, or whoever. But Diggs having some type of issue each year, and I think that it's fair to assume that 2 years of it might be enough. And the way they tend to call their offense, they don't usually use him the same as other teams might use a number one wide receiver. And I'm sure a lot of people are pissed at him for dropping that one pass in the playoff game. So that would have swung the entire game. So, yeah, no, I would not be surprised at all. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think I would be surprised. I'm actually anticipating it. This was, situations been going sour there for the last couple seasons. His brothers made comments. Lots of people have made comments. And even though he's kept relatively quiet, you just know that, if where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And
Trayvon tried to get him to Dallas. So
that'd be crazy. Him and CD and Cooks, right? Whew. I can see Houston, but I couldn't see Buffalo trading him to Houston.
No,
I'm trying to think of like a team that. No, you wouldn't trade New England in.
I don't think Dallas would pull the trigger on that trade either, because I think that.
Would the Giants pull the?
No, they'd be crazy to do that. It'd be crazy. I mean, come on. Who's going to throw him the ball? Would you just be pissing money away? You're already pissing money away on Waller. I'm sorry, no.
I mean, I thought Waller retired.
He wants to retire.
I don't think he's officially retired yet. Again, you got that much money still on the table. Why are you retiring? Unless they're cutting you, and then you want to say, "Oh, I'll just retire instead." But
I don't know who would trade for Diggs, man. That's in the Seattle. No, they got Metcalf
and they just traded for Jackson Smith McJuba, right?
That's who they drafted.
Yeah.
Miami doesn't need him. Could Kansas City?
No,
Buffalo's not going to do
they
that.
They just signed Hollywood Brown.
Cleveland just signed Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, but I think Buffalo.
Baltimore, but again, are they going to trade him to Baltimore? Probably not.
Green Bay loves their young wide receiving core.
Yeah, but Christian Watson can't stay healthy. Maybe put him true number one in Green Bay. I don't know.
Maybe, but is that a move Green Bay would make?
Him, St. Brown, and Jameson Williams
In Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
That would help Detroit try to push for the top of the NFC.
That'd be good. That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of thinking of him going to the NFC, but I don't think he's going to the AFC, and I definitely don't think Dallas is trading.
They just went out and spent a whole bunch of money on Kirk Cousins. Would they go out and try and just add that one other weapon to put it alongside? Because then you'd have Drake London, Stephon Diggs, Pitts, Robinson. Just round out that weapons core for Cousins. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that.
That'd be interesting.
I don't think that's a bad one at all. I think that's solid, literally at all.
I like
to
that
me,
as well.
that's the best landing spot I can think of. Because even if you go out west with the Rams, they already have Kupp and they Puka Nacua now. They got so they're kind of set there. Like you said, Seattle and Arizona aren't in a position to do it. San Fran's already got Ayuk, they got Debo, they got McCaffrey, they got Kittle. They got enough there, so I don't see them doing it. I really think Atlanta could be a team that if they're going to try to go all in and win in the next few years with Cousins here, that I think that's a move they can make and make happen. So be interesting to see. But, yeah, that's where my money would go right now.
Word. Yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense and would make them not only do I think that would basically give them the division. If Cousins is healthy, I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you again. But I think that would give them the division and make them a competitive team in the NFC.
I don't think Buffalo would do this. But what if they traded him to Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh just traded Deontay Johnson to Carolina. They could put him with Pickens. That'd be a nice.
It is going to suck not to be able to say Pickett to Pickens. That was fun last year. Sorry, I know that's completely off topic.
No, it's good.
That really all of a sudden just bothered me a lot. Pickett to Pickens. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And it's gone and will never happen again.
Yep.
I'm just upset. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know, man. Stephon Diggs, I have a hard time seeing him staying in Buffalo again, but he might. You don't just trade away a receiver as good as him. But I do think the Atlanta move would be a pretty badass move by Atlanta.
Tell us how you really feel, Joey.
We did a pregame. I think I did a little too much.
Well, speaking of doing too much and paying too much, I don't know if you guys saw. I guess I should play my little intro here. So hang on a second, because this is our Knuckleheaded News of the Week. And for our Knuckleheaded News of the Week, we're gonna have to bring it to the ESPN and the college football playoffs. ESPN has reached a new deal, 6 years. And they're paying $7.8 billion for the rights to air the college football playoffs solely on ABC and ESPN and ESPN stations.
Yeah, coaches got a problem with the transfer portal and the INL or NIL money. So, yeah, my heart breaks for them. And, look, ESPN, ABC will make more than that back with no problem at all. So though to us normal middle class people, that may seem like a stupid deal, for ESPN, ABC, that is literally an investment that they will probably return twofold. And well worth the upfront cost. And not to mention, for that corporation is a drop in the bucket of the amount of money they're worth. So, yeah, that's a stupid amount of money. But for them, that's like us spending a couple grand on it on a nice, all inclusive.
Yes and no. And I'm going to say that because there were rumors and reports just, a few months ago that Disney was kind of hemorrhaging money with ESPN and was possibly looking to sell ESPN and other parts of like ABC and different things underneath the Disney Corporation. So I'm not sure actually how much it's bringing in. I know they have to pay this because listen, everything. I mean, the rates that NBC paid to get Peacock football games and playoff games. I mean, it's stupid money what's going out there. So I get it, but at the same time, like yes, I agree they're going to make this money back, and I agree with everything you're saying. But I'm going to say that they're not as rich as you probably think they are, and this is probably a deal that they had to get done because they didn't want to see this going to other streaming services. They didn't want to see the college football playoffs elsewhere. But I think it's one that's still a little bit hard to switch. Still $7.8 billion for only 6 years. This only brings them through 2031, 2032. That's it. So I'd understand it more for like maybe a 10-year deal or something like that. But this is like still a lot of money just for the college football playoffs. That's not even the rights to air like all the other games that ESPN airs for all the other conferences throughout the year. You know what I mean? On all their other broadcasts. This is just for the playoffs. So it's still a lot of money. But in the end, I'm with you guys. I'm not crying over their money because they still got way more of it than I'll ever have. So,
Dr. Pepper will be paying about half of that just in advertisement rights. So don't worry, they'll be good.
Listen, the ads don't bring in as much as the Super Bowl ads do, though. Super Bowl ads are where the money's at.
People are watching it, but there's still a crap ton of people watching those events.
I mean, you figure 3 games and 3 different games. And then
it's expanding.
So it's expanding. It's going to be 12 teams next year.
Yeah, 12, and now they're actually proposing, I think, a 16 team or 14.
Yeah. They're just trying to expand it. But once you get to that many teams, it's going to start getting diluted. It's not going to be the same.
That was a smart move on their part, jumping on it early to extend it.
I'm sorry, bro. They will not regret this purchase in the long run. I have no doubt in my mind this will work out fine for them financially. Bare minimum, they make.
I'm sure it will, but I just saw that news and I was like, wow, that to me it just seemed like an awful lot for just the playoffs. But like you said, they're not necessarily hurting for it, and if they weren't going to pay it, somebody else was. So they had to do what they had to do to get it done. And speaking of what you got to do to get it done, I want to kind of bring us to one of the last things I had, unless you guys had anything else. But we are starting this week. March Madness, it's here. I know we're the end of the month.
Right.
But Thursday, or no, is it today that the play-in tournament, like the round of 68 officially, the play-in games start? So, that's tonight. Yeah. And then tomorrow night, and then the official kickoff where games start, and you get, pretty much from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock games starting. It's crazy every 15 minutes. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite times.
You're literally talking 12 hours of college basketball Thursday and Friday. And then another 10 hours of it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is if you are a basketball fan, it is one of the greatest, if not the greatest weekends in basketball, pros and college.
Gentlemen, are we filling out a bracket or what are we doing here?
I mean, I'll fill one out with you guys, but I'm not letting loser get slapped with a tortilla because it'll probably be me.
We could do a bracket, and the loser, like I said, I proposed to you guys after the last show, but we could. You want to do a little song? Where losers got to sing the champ song. I'll teach it to you before you got to sing it if you lose.
Champ song in the Munchkin tone.
Champ song in the chipmunk tone. I like it. I'm in. Chipmunk. Dave, you in? You can't chicken out, though. You're going to have to do it if you want to, because more than likely you've got the bad luck here, so you're going to end up doing it.
It's fun. Mention this to Fife. See if he would want to get involved too.
All right. But is Dave down for that? Because when I sent Fife the terms, you got to agree. Everybody's got to agree to the terms.
I haven't watched anything about college basketball, so
Me either.
I am
And
down.
I'm looking, and it looks old school to me. So I'm scrolling through here, and I look, and by old school, I mean, what was the last time? I can't remember. It was probably early 2000s, the last time I can remember UConn being a number 1 overall seed. They're the number 1 overall seed in the East. And then I look out west, and North Carolina looks to be the number 1 seed in the West. So I'm like, wow, that's, and then a team like Houston, like, they're kind of like an old, like, throwback, I feel like it's kind of like when you would have, yeah.
Bro, you want to talk about old school? Find a school called Duquesne. It's like DUSQUA, something like that. They won their tournament. They beat VCU. They beat VCU, made it to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1977.
Damn.
The head coach of that school was LeBron James's head coach in high school. And he announced before the year this was going to be his last year coaching, so he retires at the end of the year. And they managed to pull off the upset and get the team to the NCAA tournament.
Wow, that is
quite
impressive. They're actually Duquesne got the 11 seed. They're facing BYU in the first round, 6 seed. So they got a favorable seed.
I'm already right now. I'm picking them.
I'm trying to see. Did Indiana State make it? I know that there was some hype around a kid that was giving some old school Larry Bird type vibes. I'm trying to look. It's something I just heard during the season. But I don't think they made it. I'm looking now, and I don't unless they're playing in one of the playing games. Final Four in. No, they are not. But it does look like it's halftime in the Howard Wagner game. Wagner up 38-27, in case anybody's interested. You have Virginia versus Colorado State on True TV at 9:10 tonight. You have Montana State versus Grambling at 6:40. And you have, that's tomorrow. And you have Boise State, Colorado on True TV, 9:10 tomorrow. So those are the games on tomorrow. But yeah, just real quick, first impressions of the bracket. There's some interesting matchups. But again, I didn't watch a ton of college basketball. I usually watch more college basketball than I did this year. So this is kind of one of those years I'm going in a little bit more blind than I usually like to. But there's still a lot of familiar names on this list, though. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out of where. And that being said, I'm trying to look to see if there's one matchup I like more than others or if something really is jumping out to me. But no.
I was at North got a 1 seed after they fucking choked against NC State.
Yeah, and they're getting one of the playing games, too.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, baby.
Oh, that's kind of unfair, though.
Let's go. I'm all for it. UNC, baby. Woo!
Yeah, but they're at a disadvantage. They got to prep for 2 teams. They don't know who they're playing. You're number 1 seed. You should kind of know.
Yeah, but you're also playing a team that just played and is not really that good.
Yeah.
You're playing either Wagner or Howard.
One team's been getting upset recently, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, but not by the playing team, if I remember correctly. So hopefully this year is not the first year that happens.
No, even Purdue's got to play a playing team.
Yeah, when I look at it, I'm like, I don't know. I didn't watch one Purdue game all year. That's a hard thing for me this year. looking at the draft
I didn't
or
watch
looking
any.
at the bracket.
Kansas is a 4 seed. Gonzaga's a 5 seed. They're always in the tournament year in and year out. They're a little lower than usual, but that's all right.
Michigan State, they're
seed.
8 versus 9. I usually pick Michigan State. They tend to have a pretty good track record late in the year.
Especially with Izzo.
Has been there. Duke's a 4 seed. Are we taking Vermont over Duke?
I'm not.
And now I wouldn't be able to do that.
I see Kentucky's a 3 seed.
Notre Dame's a team to keep an eye on. They're pretty good. They're a tough team.
I don't know nothing about nothing. So I'm going chalk for a winner.
Not what you like. I think I'm gonna, because I have, like, other than UNC, I haven't really watched much college basketball this year, and my best bracket ever was picking based off of the mascot I like the most. So that's awesome. That might be the route I go.
Listen, that might be the hill to die on, because at this point in the year, it's all a crapshoot anyway. It is all a crapshoot. Anybody can win this thing. That's one of the best parts about March Madness, is the madness part of it. One and done, big style. Like, it's one of those things you could turn it on, and you catch so many different games at so many different points. There's always something exciting, because it's like watching Red Zone for the NFL on a Sunday afternoon. Commercial free. Now, granted, there are commercials during these games, but there's so many of them on that you could just turn the channel, find a new one. Turn the channel, find a new one. Turn the channel, find a... Like, they almost might as well make a, like, mini channel for this, like a Red Zone type channel, where it just switches to the next game, because, I mean, you're doing that anyway. And that's the exciting part about it, is because you see the teams, and granted, I think that because of the landscape of college sports the way it is now, you're seeing more 16 seeds win. You're seeing more 15 seeds and lower seeds upsetting some of these teams. And you look at it, like you look at North Carolina, like you talked about, Dave, haven't had their best showing. They're playing a team, whoever plays today, granted, North Carolina's had a week off, where these guys have only had 2 days off. They're coming in now rolling off a win in their conference, now winning this play-in game. They're coming in hot. Does that mess with their psyche? Does that, does it do something to help boost them and give them that edge? But it seems like the playing field has been a lot more even in recent years, especially with these lower seeds upsetting bigger seeds. Seems to be happening almost yearly now, whether it's a 15 or a 16 going down, or every other year. Is this the year we see a 1 seed go down? I think Louis just said yes.
I'm going to agree with Louis. Why the heck not? Last year, Purdue went down. A couple years before that, Virginia went down. It's very possible.
I think Kansas went down 1 year.
Yeah. No, I think only two. I think only 2 have ever been.
No, but I think Kansas might have been a 2 seed when they went down. I think they might have lost to a 15. So that's still a big time upset. Anytime a 2 seed or a 3 seed even loses, it's bad.
Eric, you're not wrong. It's a lot of these top talents leave after a year, so you can't. A lot of these top programs don't have cohesive teams for 3-4 years. They're constantly trying to retool year in and year out. While these lower seeded teams, they know they don't have an NBA player on their team, more than likely, and they're able to keep their guys a little longer, so they're able to have a better cohesiveness and whatnot. And it's you're starting to see that it seems like teams that have been together longer are starting to beat teams that are just more quote unquote talented on paper. So I think this first round, I think I'm going to take a whole bunch of upsets. I always take a few 12s over a 5. That always happens every year. I think I'm going to take a couple 11s over some 6s this year.
Well, here's the question I got
and
for
you-
both of you guys, because it's going to be the poll question of the week, or the poll question of the show. Which number 1 seed is the first to lose? Doesn't mean they lose in the first round, because maybe all 4 win it, but which is the first number 1 seed to get knocked out? So we have UConn, we have North Carolina, we have Houston, and we have Purdue. Who's the
other one I
first?
heard?
We have
Purdue,
Houston, North Carolina, and UConn.
and UConn.
Houston.
I'm going Purdue again.
And sadly, because it's a team I usually root for, I follow 3 teams usually in college basketball because they're 3 main teams, and you can pretty much get the gist of college basketball by following any one of the 3. So I follow all 3. But that's Kentucky, that's Kansas, and that's North Carolina. And I'm looking at it as, I think North Carolina, with the way they've been playing, could be the first number 1 seed knocked out this year. That's the
I
hill
hope
I'm
you're
dying on.
wrong.
I know you do. I kind of hope I'm wrong too, but that's the hill I'm dying on. So, and as always, I always usually root for Kentucky because Kentucky has a lot of parallels. A lot of times they win the national championship. The Yankees go on to win the World Series. So for my dad, I'm going to root for that this year. I think Kentucky has a 3 seed. So I'm gonna root for them, and I'm going to hope that brings the Yankees some luck, and we get a couple championships here.
I like that, Eric.
Yeah, I care less. Go UNC.
Well, listen, when we fill out our brackets, we're going to make them official. We're not going to include these playing games. We're just going to do straight brackets. 60-4 team.
Yeah, no.
But
Have to have it. You gotta have.
Or we'll put it in our chat.
Yeah, get it done by tomorrow night.
Exactly. We'll all send it to each other. And then, loser has got to sing the champ song to the rest of us. Or to the winner.
Oh,
To the
great.
winner. You could direct it directly to the winner. But whoever the loser is, just
You
that
gotta-
one loser, whoever comes in dead last. The other person, and if Fife gets involved too, the other 2 people don't have to do anything. One person will be the winner, one person will be the loser, and that loser will have to quaff a tune for losing.
Since there's only one winner, everybody else is technically a loser. Shouldn't this be a group singing? Or are we just doing
I think
one
the group singing would get a little too messy.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, that requires.
it might
Yes.
get a little messy if everybody's being a chipmunk.
Oh god. Oh god. Eric, you've added a lot of good things on your soundboard, but that may remain the favorite for a while.
Oh, that's it.
No, stop it. Stop it. Oh my god.
Stop it. Get some help.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's one of my new favorite ones, I gotta be honest. I love that one.
Yeah. That's a great one, especially as the die on the hill moments continue.
Right? So, I mean, let's figure die on this hill question of the week. How many more times can I mention to Dave that I'm down here in sunny Florida looking at palm trees and sitting by the pool before he just hangs up on me?
I one more freaking time, and you can end the show by yourself. I'm even switching to my. Yeah.
We are getting to that time though, my friends. I mean, we can start to bring it to a little
A bit of a close here, if you want.
I'm really.
I love that.
Hey, Dave, just remember, when one door closes, another door opens.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And on that
boy.
note,
Oh.
dance it out. shoulder roll. Do it now.
So until next time, guys, where can they find you?
At David Hastings 23 on X.
And Joey? Mr. Joey D.
Hastings 23 on X.
I love it. I love it. Joey just rocks here with us. But, hey, listen, we're fans of that too. And, yeah, you can find me at Die on This Hill on YouTube, on X at The Living Legend. Yeah, follow us, like us, subscribe. Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Answer the poll questions. Leave us your comments. It's growing. More people have been listening. We appreciate everybody for doing that. So until next time, don't be afraid to have an opinion. And Die on This Hill. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks, Eric.